The calendar may say July, but the Giants and Diamondbacks are playing like it's late September. The D-backs lead the NL West, but the defending world champs can never be counted out. And today they put Madison Bumgarner, the All-Star, on the hill to go for the sweep. Big Country takes on the D-backs, and it's coming up next. It's Hyundai Sunday on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. This Giants baseball is brought to you by your Bay Area Hyundai dealers. Today, it's the Giants and Diamondbacks in the final game of the series from AT&T Park here in San Francisco. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krukow. A big win Friday, a big win yesterday for the Giants, so they have a chance to sweep. And it's tough to sweep a team in a three-game series, but you might say that they got the right guy on the mound to do it.
Well, they do have the right guy on it. They had their all-star. They had the big lefty, Madison Bumgarner. And the Giants have already swept the Diamondbacks once this year. They're going to try and do it again today. But, when you go into this game, you think that you're going to get a chance to win with Bumgarner, and in all likelihood, that's going to happen. You think you're going to start continuing the two-out knocks like we've seen the difference makers in these first two games. But the Giants have to catch the ball well. Defensively, they still are not the team that they were last year. And if they're going to have a pretty solid run the second half of the season, they have to start catching the ball better. And I think that's going to be a key today.
All right, we'll look for that and other things here in the final game of this series. All right, stay with us. We'll have the lineups in the first pitch right after this.
Is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Go big at a Jack in the Box near you with Jack's new Big Stack Burger. And by Toyota. Do the math and save at your local Toyota dealer.
Beautiful day here at AT&T Park as we wrap up this three-game series. Our game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. 62 degrees here at the yard. The winds are at 9 miles per hour. Humidity fairly high. And it's a nice day. Come on. All right, here's Kirk Gibson's lineup. It goes like this. It'll be Pollock, Prado, and Goldschmidt. Aaron Hill's got good numbers against Bumgarner, especially extra base hit numbers. Followed by Montero, Ross, and Parra. Hitting 8th will be Pennington, and Delgado will pitch in bat 9th.
On the hill today for the Giants, the 6'5", 235-pound left-hander, all-star pitcher Madison Bumgarner. Making start number 20 in his first 19 have been outstanding. 10-5 with a 3.02 ERA. 122 strikeouts against 34 walks this season. When you take your bats against him, you're going to see a low 3/4 release, a very, very good natural cut to his fastball, hard slider, changeup, and a curveball.
All right, so we have baseball here on a gorgeous Sunday afternoon. As Bumgarner looking into A.J. Pollock, and the first pitch is on its way, and it's a called strike. Pollock hitting .255, 4 for 12 lifetime against Bumgarner. Here he skies it into left center field. Blanco moving over, now drifting back, and in front of the wall he makes the catch, and that's how this game gets started.
Wow. Let's take a look at that defense playing behind Madison Bumgarner. Starting in the outfield from left to right, it'll be Tanaka, Blanco, and Pence. That's your outfield. Crawford and Sandoval on the left side. Scooter Bell on the right side. Buster Posey will be in the squad, putting down the signs.
Who wouldn't like to pitch here?
This is one of the greatest places on the planet to pitch.
I mean, in Arizona, they're talking about, boy, that Pollock, he's got some power.
Well, that would have been his 7th home run of the year. Here, it's a big league hang with him.
Here's Martin Prado. Prado takes a strike, hitting .253, 8 home runs, 36 driven in.
See a little different strike zone than what you saw last night. Last night, a very small strike zone. Today, Scott Berry, the plate umpire, he'll call low and high strikes. It's kind of a rule book strike zone, not big corners, but you'll get a lot of higher strikes than most umpires.
See the rest of the umpires. Marquez at first, Barrett at second, DeMiro at third.
The other thing, too, about Berry is you may set an outside corner target. If that ball goes across the inside corner, a lot of umpires don't give that. He will. You don't necessarily have to be between the catcher's knee to get a strike with Berry.
Drives it into left center field. Maybe this one's uncatchable, but Tanaka's there, and he can't get it, and it bounces high off the top of the wall. And Prado is going to end up at third. So it'll be a triple for Prado.
Well, I have to say that there is a little carry to the left center field part of this ballpark right now, but a little more experienced outfielder, and that's a can of corn. That ball just absolutely eats up Tanaka. And remember, he's an infielder playing the outfield. And as we see in our Toyota Exmo, brought to you by your local Toyota dealer, right off the tip of the glove. And players that get that much glove on a ball in the outfield think that they should catch it. I know it barely ticked his glove, but like I say, if it would have been Blanco out in left field, I think he'd have had it.
Here's Goldschmidt as he fouls it out of play. Goldschmidt at .307, 21 home runs, 77 RBIs. In this series, he's only 1 for 9. He does have a lifetime home run off of Bumgarner. He's 3 for 14. Oh, and 2. Bumgarner knows the deal. It's a strikeout situation.
Giants are giving the run. Any ground ball is going to score Prado easily. He'll be going on contact on the ground. It is a strikeout situation. I tell you what, that last slider that he just threw Goldschmidt is about as good as he could throw.
And it's likely Goldschmidt's going to see another one. In tight, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
There it was. Aaron Hill on deck.
Infield back, as Mike mentioned. Outfield taking away the gaps and giving Goldschmidt the lines. Fouls it back as he reached out to get a piece. It stays at 1-2.
93-mile-an-hour fastball. And Bumgarner is not a pitcher that maximizes every pitch. He'll cruise at a control velocity that he feels comfortable with, where he can spot. And with him, he feels it's more important to have good location and movement than it is velocity. And that was a very easy 93.
On the ground, foul. And it remains 1-2.
Nice play by Sandoval, catching the foul ball. If you're playing on the left side of the infield behind Madison Bumgarner, you better be ready, because you are going to see some flames, especially with a guy like Paul Goldschmidt.
So a good battle between Goldschmidt and Bumgarner. Hammered to left, and Tanaka's going to make the catch. His throw is going to be cut off, and it's 1-0 Arizona on the sacrifice fly by Goldschmidt.
Nice at bat.
Here's our Coors Light cold hard facts. Giants most strikeouts by a left-handed pitcher before the All-Star game since 1933. See Jonathan Sanchez up there.
Sean Estes.
Yep. No Woody.
Yeah, no Kirk Reeder. He was close. He missed it by about 70.
Here's Hill. He didn't get enough starts that one year. 1-0 to Hill, hitting .274. He takes low, 2 balls and no strikes. There's a strike. Giants shut out Arizona on Friday night and held them to 3 runs last night. Giants have only scored 6 runs in this series. Pulled foul. All right.
That's Rich Apicicea, the ball dude, the third base side. Get a little work, make it a friend. I think he found a good recipient.
A lot of work down the left field line already today. Bumgarner with 16 pitches.
Yep, that's a gamer, babe.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Got him. D-backs on the board. Giants are coming up, and it'll be Gregor Blanco to lead things off. face Randall Delgado, and here's the lineup for Bruce Bochy. It'll be Blanco Scudero and then Buster Posey, and a modest 7-game hitting streak. Had a home run last night. Sandoval will hit cleanup. Then it's Pence, Belt, and Tanaka. Crawford will hit 8th, and Bumgarner will hit 9th.
On the hill today for the Arizona Diamondbacks will be Randall Delgado. Got just about a year and some change in the big league level. 6'3", 200-pounder. He's 22 years old. And if you're facing Randall Delgado, you're going to see a low 90s fastball with a curveball and a changeup. Lots of changeups. 33 strikeouts against 5 walks in 39 innings. He was involved in that trade that the Diamondbacks made with the Atlanta Braves when they sent Jason Upton and Chris Johnson to Atlanta for Martin Prado. And Delgado was one of the really highly coveted prospect arms that the Braves had. So he was a big part of that deal. You look at his numbers down in AAA this year. He was 2-5 with a 5.91 ERA. So far, 1-3, 3.92. But again, he's still a baby, just 22 years old.
And Blanco takes a strike, hitting .274. Blanco did not start the game yesterday. He did on Friday and went 0 for 3. And just like that, bang, bang, nothing in 2. Scudero to follow, and then Buster Posey. And this is a broken bat ground ball to Goldschmidt, and Blanco's retired.
Let's take a look at the Diamondbacks defense, starting in the outfield from left to right. You will see Ross, Pollock, Parr, and basically 3 center fielders out there playing in the outfield. So lots of great coverage in the outfield with those 3. Pennington and Prado on the left side of the infield. Hill and Goldschmidt on the right side. And Ironman Miguel Montero behind the plate in the squat, putting down the signs.
So here's Scudero hitting .311. He's had 3 walks in the series. So far, Delgado hasn't thrown a pitch out of the strike zone, and it's 0-1.
And there's the changeup. You're going to see a lot of those.
Outside to Scudero. Only 3 Giants in this lineup have ever faced Delgado before: Sandoval, Pence, and Belt. And with that, it's just a small sample size. 3-1 to Scudero.
Delgado from Las Tablas, Panama. As you see Buster Posey on deck.
And Scudero takes the walk. As always on a Sunday, the kids take a certain spot on the field. This guy is so psyched.
Dude, check it out. Yeah, it's a great day.
Here's Buster Posey. Fastball high to Buster Posey. Hit his 14th home run to straightaway center field last night, and it turned out to be the difference of the game. Got his average up to .326. And he takes low. So after all the strikes that Delgado threw to Blanco and the strike to Scudero, he hasn't thrown one since.
And he's not really getting pinched either by Scott Berry, the plate umpire. He's just missing.
Posey skies one into shallow left field. And Cody Ross will put it away. And that'll bring up Sandoval.
I would think that this is a pretty good matchup for Sandoval. Delgado is a guy who likes to pitch down around the knees, a low ball pitcher. Little sink on the fastball. His changeup usually drops down around the knees, as does his curveball. So a lot of what he throws naturally winds up low in the zone, and that goes right to the strength of Sandoval.
And there's a fastball for a strike. Sandoval at 269. Couple of hits last night. Here he fouls it back. D-backs scored in the top of this inning. Giants trying to score like they have in the last two games. Very high, 1-2. Sandoval, one of the three hitters that has faced Delgado. He's 0 for 2 lifetime. And this is foul back and out of play. And these three guys just kind of hanging out. And they're going to have to cut that ball into 3 pieces.
Yeah, you just might have to. Fired up the party, though.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
And wherever those 3 go, there's a party. Beer's here.
Changeup got him, and that'll end the inning. Giants strand 1 after 1. It's 1-0 Arizona.
Area is brought to you by Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com.
Giants will take on the Reds tomorrow through Wednesday. The Tuesday, that's the highlighted day. It's a doubleheader, an old-fashioned doubleheader starting at 4:05. If you have a ticket to the first game, you can stay for the second game. And there are great seats available for the Tuesday game, so visit sfgiants.com. That's right. It's 2 games for the price of 1.
I didn't think we'd ever see one of those again. A good old-fashioned double dip.
Especially here. 0-1 to Montero. 0-2 to Montero.
Montero turned around. Scott Berry says, "Is that a strike?" Scott Berry played umpire, nodded his head. Yes, it was.
Yeah, you swung at it.
I always said that's kind of a redundant question.
And the 0-2 to Montero is outside, 1-2. Cody Ross on deck. You got him. Check in with Amy G.
All right, Dwayne and Mike. Well, unfortunately, Jeremy Affeldt was right yesterday when he thought he heard a pop. He did. MRI results showed that he does have a strained groin, and he has been placed on the 15-day disabled list. Jean Machi has been called up as the corresponding roster move. Gentlemen, I talked to Jeremy today. He's understandably frustrated, but he has had this injury before. He says it's one that you just have to let time tell how long it's going to take to heal. It's very sore today. He cannot lift his leg, but hopefully he'll start treatment and get back on track soon. Gentlemen?
Yep, they need him as Cody Ross bangs one into left field for a base hit.
Now that is definitely a blow to the Giants, losing Affeldt. And he was just starting to get his act together too with his release point. Everything was starting to flow. Bang, injury. It's the way the game is sometimes. Not always fair, unfortunately. And here was that pitch. You could read his lips when he started describing what had happened. You could say, you could read that he felt a pop. And indeed, he was right.
Here's Parra. Parra takes wide. 1 ball and no strikes. Parra 282. 7 home runs, 27 driven in. Only 1 for 12 lifetime against Bumgarner with 5 strikeouts. Cody Ross, just 1 steal. On deck is Cliff Pennington, the former A. 1 out, 1 on, 1-0 Arizona. This is popped up middle of the diamond. It's Scudero calling and catching. And that'll bring up Pennington.
See, he's hitting 225, but I don't remember a bad at bat that he's had against the Giants this year.
He's at least put together good at bats. He may not have gotten hits. One for 5. His numbers against Bumgarner. And first pitch down low. Giants, after winning the first 2 games in this series, went from 6.5 back to 4.5 back. Part of that, they took 3 out of 4 from the Padres. So they're on a run now where they've won 5 of their last 6. There's a strike. A head of steam going into the series tomorrow would be a good idea. So Pennington steps out briefly. 1 ball and 1 strike. And another strike, 1-2.
The thing about that pitch from Bumgarner is that if you're hitting it from the right side, you see it out of his hand, you're thinking outside, and then boom, late minute, thing crashes right back in the strike zone, and it just leaves you up there standing there holding your bat. You really have to stay with that pitch when it starts away from you.
Comes back in tight with a fastball, 2-2.
I always like that view from behind home plate. You really can get a look at the release point that Bumgarner has, that low 3/4 release. And it really is a testimony as to how strong he is, that he can repeat that that low three-quarter so consistently. You've got to be strong to do it.
Bumgarner probably did not want to go 3-2, but that's where he's at right now.
Next pitch will be number 30. Delgado, the pitcher, on deck.
Runner goes on the ground to Crawford. Crawford has it, and that'll end the inning. No runs, a hit, one left. Hunter Pence, he's going to lead things off. Here it's 1-0 Arizona.
Is brought to you by the Solar Company. Not just any solar company, the solar company.
1-0 Arizona as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Hunter Pence going to lead things off for the Giants here. Kaipe's really had some good at-bats starting this second half, first two games. He is a huge key this second half of the season for the Giants, no doubt.
Huge key. Takes a strike from Delgado. Pence 1 for 3 in the game last night. 2 for 4 on Friday. Belt and then Tanaka here in the second. Right at Aaron Hill, who was shading Pence to pull. 1 out. And here's Belt.
In a day game, you see infielders, outfielders will be out there in the field. They'll have sunglasses on top of their hat. You say, well, why don't they have them on? Well, because the sun really is not an issue at this point. It will be in the later 4 or 5 or 3 or 4 innings of this game, but you don't really have to worry about the sun until about the 6th.
Belt fouls it out of play.
Some guys like Cody Ross just like to wear them. There you see the sun, and as the day wears on, it'll get right behind home plate, and it will be a very big factor in this game to the middle infielders, center fielder especially.
Belt straightaway center field for Pollock. That's 2 outs.
Yep. Baseball found a good home. That's great. The old man brings his glove. Let's watch it. Nice playing, Dad.
Snow cone.
That's great. And that is something that His son will never forget. I experienced that with my dad. And I can still hear it hitting his big old paws.
The 1-0 to Tanaka is down low. 2 balls and no strikes. Tanaka, you see the number 6 for 22. This is probably going to fall. It is. So Tanaka with a 2-out hit. And the first hit for the Giants. So Tanaka aboard, and here's Crawford. Crawford at 268, 5 home runs, 30 driven in. Bumgarner now coming out of the dugout. And Crawford takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Crawford 0 for 4 on Friday. Got into the game yesterday, took an 0 for 1. And Crawford pops this one up. Pennington, shading his eyes, puts it away to end the inning. No runs, a hit, 1 left. We will head to the third, and it's 1-0 D-backs. First half success. This is the I believe quote. We're in a good position right now, and I think we are where we want to be. I know what I believed in. I believed we could be in the position that we are in now, and I believe we could be there at the end of the season. That's the I believe quote.
Well, I think as a manager, you have to believe that when your team's in first place.
Here's Delgado. Delgado takes a call strike.
And he's got half a clue up there, too, with that bat. He's a pretty good hitter for a pitcher.
See the Sandoval family?
Yep, big Panda fans.
Backdoored him with a breaking ball that misses.
Not by much. First time an umpire sees that, and that is the first time that Scott Berry, the umpire, has seen it. They have a tendency to give up on it early themselves. You might get it if you throw it again.
1-2 on the sneaky fastball. Pollock, the leadoff hitter, on deck. First strikeout for Bumgarner. And here's Pollock. Pollock hit a ball very far into left center field that was tracked down. And he takes a strike. So Bumgarner, the reputation of being a strike thrower, is doing exactly that.
Well, he also has a reputation of being a guy that warms up to a rhythm slowly, and once he finds it, it becomes very difficult to score off him. Remember his last outing, he gave up 2 runs to the Padres, and that was it. He didn't give him another sniff for the next 6 innings.
A bit high, 1-2. Prado to follow. And Pollock stays alive with a foul ball straight back. Two hits for the D-backs, 1 for the Giants. And Pollock is gone.
Nice pitch. Well, Tuesday, August 6th is Jewish Heritage Night presented by Touro University, California. Your special event package includes a ticket to the game versus the Brewers and a collector's edition Giants dreidel. Now, don't miss award-winning artist Matasyehu, as he will be on hand at a pregame party in Seals Plaza performing an acoustic set. For tickets, call 415-972-2298 or go to sfgiants.com/special events.
Prado tripled off the glove of Tanaka in the first inning. I take it you can see through those. 1 ball and no strikes. Called strike. The 1-1 to Prado. On the ground to Scudero. Scudero to Belt. And Bumgarner a 1-2-3 third with 2 strikeouts. That man's going to lead things off.
your Bay Area Hyundai dealers.
1-0 Arizona. They scored in the first inning. Everything's been quiet since then, and Madison Bumgarner is going to lead things off. Bumgarner 5 for 35 on the season. He's actually due to knock one out of the park.
Yes, he is.
On the ground to Pennington. Bumgarner retired on one pitch. And that'll bring up Blanco. A lot of activity out in the water today, not just in the cove, but as we look out into the bay.
I just think we're right in the middle of sailing season. The bay's been unbelievable, and with all that's going on with the America's Cup around the Bay Area, a lot of sailors, not just around the Northern California area, but from around the country, around the world, coming into this region. They want to get on the water, and this is a destination, baby.
Here's Blanco, who bounced out in the first inning.
This will be an interesting time through the lineup as they adjust to what they saw from Randall Delgado. Coming into this game, there was only 9 at-bats that the Giants collectively had as an entire team against Delgado, so they're figuring him out.
One and one to Blanco. Blanco pulls it foul. That guy went a long way for that.
He earned it.
2-2 to Blanco with Scudero on deck. Giants trying to get something going after the first out is recorded. Blanco fouls it out of play.
Say this about Delgado. He's not afraid to come in that strike zone with the fastball. So he mentioned he came over to the Diamondbacks from the Atlanta Braves, where he first got his first look in the big leagues. And as we've come to understand with the Braves, watching their prospects over the years come to the big leagues, most of them are strike throwers. Delgado, no exception.
Kind of hung that changeup a bit. Blanco just got a piece of it. See, Dodgers smoked the Nationals today 9-2. Jordan Zimmerman gave up 7 runs in the second inning. Blanco, like he does a lot, steps out right when that pitcher gets ready to come to the plate. Just have a timing mechanism that he needs just a certain amount of time. And this is popped out of play. That almost looked like it hit somebody. Yep. I'm okay.
Well, I hope he is.
And the 2-2. Tap foul.
Good changeup. And pretty much it's been a 2-pitch arsenal that Delgado has thrown at the Giants. He's got a curveball, but he really hasn't shown that he can get it over. It's been fastball, curveball, or fastball changeup rather, and it's been effective.
So it's a full count. Into left field, but it's right at the oncoming Cody Ross. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Scudero.
It's good at bat. I think that's the approach you have to have against a guy with a good changeup that you don't have a lot of experience against. Think the opposite way.
Scudero drew a walk in the first. And a first pitch strike. Posey would hit if Scudero reaches. One ball and one strike. Scudero right at Goldschmidt, and that'll end the inning. Through 3 innings here at AT&T Park. It's 1-0 Arizona.
You can tweet your answer if you know it to CSN Giants. The question today: who was the last Giant left-handed pitcher before Madison Bumgarner to make the All-Star team? What you think about that?
So Goldschmidt will lead things off. Goldschmidt with a sacrifice fly in the first to give him 78 runs batted in on the season.
Well, that is the difference in the game. It was an outstanding at bat. Good pitch. And that's exactly what Bumgarner's thinking too. What's wrong with that? Now, you hate missing a pitch you think you made and you didn't get, especially to a good hitter. It always hurts a little more.
See where Goldschmidt ranks. First in runs batted in. Say overall, that's a pretty good season right there.
You know, this guy has done the one thing that you like to see young players do. He's gotten better every year. I mean, he came in and he made a pretty big bang when he first got here, but he has continued to improve. And what the league has found out about this guy is he's a good athlete, smart, all the things you need to be a good hitter in this league. That's a good pitch. Bumgarner's throwing 4 pitches in this at bat, and they've all been perfect.
So full count now to Goldschmidt.
That's one he won't be happy with. That was a pretty easy take. When you have a guy at a 2-strike count, you want to make him at least think about a pitch location-wise when you throw it up there. And that last one, Goldschmidt didn't have to. Hey, you get the ball above the belt, though, you're asking for trouble because that's his strength. He's a good high ball hitter, good mistake hitter. We see him get a lot of 3-ball counts.
And the payoff. And that was a bit away from the target. Buster Posey had set up more on the inner half of the plate. This is pitch number 50 for Bumgarner. And he wraps it to left field. Tanaka back. Tanaka is going to have this one hit off the wall. And Goldschmidt will go into second base with a double.
Now, this ball was raked. He didn't have a lot of chance to get back to the wall. And Tanaka, who's pretty quick. Never really was comfortable with it. It was going to be a high backhander. But with the sun and the wind and the strength of that line drive, just not a good match.
So here's Hill. Bumgarner maybe unhappy with that call. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, well, with Barry, I mean, he doesn't have big corners. The difference between his zone last night and last night's Mike DeMuro is that he gives the high strike, whereas last night's umpire DeMuro did not even give that. His was very small. But when you're used to getting corner pitches and you're not getting them, it does frustrate you.
Scudero keeping Goldschmidt as close as he can. And this is in tight. 2 balls and 1 strike. Blanco fairly shallow in center and shading Hill a bit towards right center field. Hit away from the defense, but Blanco's going to dive and make the catch. Nice play, Gregor Blanco.
Tell you what, we're going to make that our Ford right choice. And as you pointed out, Kai, they had shattered him over towards the right center field gap. He was nowhere near. This ball did not hang up in the air very long. He didn't have a big window of opportunity, and he goes down in a dive, and this is a huge play. If it gets by him, it might be a round tripper. That's our Ford right choice. Beautiful play. That's Bumgarner likes that effort.
So here's Montero.
That was such a good catch. I mean, Goldschmidt couldn't even advance to third.
And Montero got a pitch up and he fouls it straight back.
One more look at our Exmo, brought to you by Toyota, and look at the concentration. He never blinks. Right into a belly slide, and Goldschmidt cannot advance. That's a rough, non-productive out.
That is a rough out, period. Bumgarner, he has to keep an eye on Goldschmidt, given the fact that Hill could not advance Goldschmidt to third. Goldschmidt may very well try to do it on his own. And that pitch is high. Good crowd, another sellout today.
Hanging from the rafters. And what a day it is for baseball. Giants have already won the series from the Diamondbacks, trying to get greedy.
Popped up. It is on the infield. And it's going to be Crawford calling off Scudero.
That was a pop-up and a half.
That was a pop-up and a half. Here's Cody Ross.
Each inning, this game progresses, the tougher that sky is going to get with the sun.
Goldschmidt at second. And a strike. Cody Ross singled between Sandoval and Crawford in the second inning. Parra is on deck. Bumgarner does have a base to work with should he choose. 2 balls and a strike. There's an I Heart Bumgarner fan.
Yep. She made it herself. Got to stand in line to heart that guy, though.
Yeah. Three and one to the former Giant.
That last pitch was a changeup, and he hasn't thrown a lot of changeups today.
So Cody Ross will sit on the pitch here. And he taps it foul on the 3-1 pitch. Gobbled up by Ron Wotus in the Giants dugout, and now it's a full count. So full house here at AT&T Park, getting behind Madison Bumgarner. Now everybody stops. Three and two. And the walk. For Bumgarner, the first walk that he has issued. Here's Parra.
Frustrating pitch for Bumgarner because it was a pretty easy take from Cody Ross's perspective. An open base like that, you don't have to give into a hitter, but you do want to make a more tempting pitch. Better to miss down below the strike zone than up above the strike zone.
Breaking ball and a strike to Parra. Parra popped out to Marco Scudero in the second. Goldschmidt at second. Ross at first. And this is hit on the ground to Scudero. And that 4-3 putout will end the inning. Big fellows are coming up. Posey, Sandoval, and Pence. 1-0 D-backs. Tanner to make an all-star team before Madison Bumgarner this season. And if you said Sean Estes, then you would be correct. 1997, I remember it well. I believe it was in Cleveland. You see the Giants starting pitchers that have been all-star selections. Lincecum 4 times, Kane 3 times, Zito 3 times, Vogelsong and Bumgarner. Very nicely done. So here's Buster Posey. Breaking ball down low. Buster Posey popped out to the left fielder, Cody Ross, in the first inning. Sandoval to follow. There's a line drive over Flannery. Here's our AT&T U-verse rewind. It was last night where Buster Posey hit his 14th home run. It came in the 5th inning. It added on at the time, and the D-backs would come back to score a couple of runs, and it ended up that was the difference. So it's 2 balls and a strike to Buster Posey. And this is wrapped foul on a changeup. It's 2-2.
That's a good changeup. It's one of the best they've seen all year.
In the dirt, 3-2. A new baseball for Delgado. Hit on the ground to Prado at third. And that's out number 1. And let's check in with Amy G.
All right, gentlemen, we saw a much improved Matt Cain last night, and I spoke with Giants pitching coach Dave Rigetti to see what he saw. He told me that Matt had much better location and more bite on his breaking ball. He also said, and Mike, you can probably expand on this, that there was a mental side. The Giants starters have been able to string together several quality starts, and Matt, of course, wanting to add on to that. Those starters have a healthy competition, no one wanting to be outdone by the other. Dwayne?
All right, good stuff here, Sandoval.
Competition, a good thing, especially in a good rotation.
Sandoval hits a high drive to right. Back is Parra, and Parra's going to make the catch. Tough yard. Just ask Sandoval.
I didn't think for 1 second he had any chance to catch this thing. I thought it was way out of here. And you watch him go back. He's measure, and goes back. Now he slides. And as it turns out, not even close to the wall. It just tells you how hard it is to hit that ball out of here on a day where the wind's cutting across the field. I mean, it will carry to left, but right field right now is extremely difficult. And Sandoval just proved it.
So here's Pence, and Pence takes a fastball high. Pence bounced out to second. And he drops in an off-speed pitch for a strike on the 2-0 count.
Good changeup.
Pence pops this one over by the Diamondbacks dugout, and it's going to be out of play. Can't find it.
Easter egg hunt.
In somebody's pocket.
Somebody's pocket. Could be this guy right here.
Yeah. He would be the logical choice. 2-2 pitch. Pence stays alive.
He had the look.
And if I saw it right, he also had the ball.
Yes, he did.
2-2. Pence fights another fastball off.
Well, you could tell by the way the Giants hitters have been late on these fastballs from Delgado that the changeup's on their mind. And you don't get that type of effect on a hitter unless you have a great changeup. And right now, Delgado's got a good one.
Here's the payoff to Hunter Pence, and Pence takes the walk. Pretty good at bat for Hunter Pence, and that'll bring up Belt.
Well, with Brandon Belt's ability to hit the ball left field off righties, you would think that would put him in a good position to hit a righty with a good changeup. You think opposite field, you think hard stuff, and if he throws a changeup, that's the ball you pull. That's the theory. But you have to have a good approach the opposite way to pull it off, and Belt does.
Belt hit a fly ball to center field in the second. Boy, pretty good pitch, 2-0.
Delgado taking a long look in at Scott Berry, the plate umpires, to say, where was that?
You know. Right there for a strike, 3-1. Bell took that one. He was not going to take this one if it's a good pitch to hit. Here's where you can crank one or spin on it. And he does, and he ropes it to right field.
Well, just about anybody else in the division, you're going to see Pence just not even stop at second and head over to third. But with Gerardo Parra, good luck. His arm just too good. A lot of reputation, and really, that doesn't happen very often with Pence. Gold Glover.
So here's Tanaka, who picked up the Giants' first hit of the game. He did that in the second inning with 2 outs.
Well, I mean, he hit for a great lifetime average in the Japanese leagues, and you don't do that unless you're a pretty good off-speed hitter. Tanaka, lifetime in Japan, a 294 hitter.
And a strike. If he were to hit one hard at certainly Parra, it would be hard for Pence to score.
And that's saying something too, with 2 outs and the speed that Pence has. He has above average speed.
That's going to be foul.
Would have been nice. Metallica fan.
Oh, 2 to Tanaka. This will be pitch number 63 for Delgado. Out of play. So Dad's the hero today.
That is just the way it should be.
0-2 to Tanaka. Tanaka, a good take. 1-2.
Dad brings his glove. And she'll never forget it. I'm surprised we haven't seen at least a couple of big curveballs drop on home plate when he's been in the head of the count today. Just hadn't done it.
And he got him to end the inning. Giants strand a pair. We'll head to the fifth. 1-0. He's back.
McDonald's true stories in this date in Giants history. Go back to July 21st, 2002, and that's when Tom Goodwin helped defeat his old team, the Dodgers, when he popped a game-winning two-run homer off of Giovanni Carrara with one out in the ninth, giving the Giants a 6-4 victory. And Russ Ortiz was loving it. That, my friends, was Tom Goodwin's only home run in a Giants uniform.
Did we just see him?
We did. Last road trip. Our last homestand, rather. He's with the Mets, first base coach. He's a good one.
This is going to be a broken bat base hit for Pennington, who takes a wide turn. Well, that's enough to tick you off if you're Bumgarner.
Well, he had a lot of stretch time in the last inning when he had a leadoff double from Goldschmidt. And just like that, he's right back in the stretch. Bunt situation now here for Delgado. As you mentioned, he hands the bat pretty well, so no automatic bunt situation. You at least have to respect the fact that he might butcher play.
Bunts this one, it comes back up and hits the bat. It's no balls and one strike. You figure Delgado will be doing the same thing. Belt's going to catch it. Charging hard, he puts it away.
So a non-productive out. And a long walk back to the dugout for Delgado.
Pollock has hit a fly ball to deep center field, and he struck out. Four hits for Arizona, 2 for the Giants. Pennington, a couple of steals on the season. And the first pitch is high, 1 ball and no strikes.
Bumgarner has tried to cut his motion back, try to make it a little bit tougher for people to steal off him, but he's still a project in that regard. Doesn't help to be 6'5". It takes big guys a little bit longer to get unwound.
Yep. And now the runner goes, and this has popped up. And Belt's got a shot on a double play, and it'll be Bumgarner to step on the bag, and that'll end the inning. If you don't peek when you're running down to second, you're not going to know where the ball is. 1-0 D-backs.
The San Francisco Giants. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
Well, right at the end of this homestand, the Cubs will be in for a weekend series starting on July 26th. The Saturday game is a 6:05 start, the Sunday game 1:05. And you can get tickets for the Cubs series the only time that they'll be in town. And what you do is you go to sfgiants.com and check out the Cubs.
And if you can't get seats, just get yourself a raft and hang out in McCovey Cove.
So here's Crawford. It'll be Crawford, Bumgarner, and then Blanco. And the Giants had an opportunity in the 4th inning. It was the first time they had a runner in scoring position. And Tanaka could not cash in, so they haven't created many opportunities. So you can see the combination. It's very simple. Fastball, changeup.
Mike Muldowney, our splash cam operator today.
Well, that's an automatic, isn't it? 3-1 to Crawford. Delgado wanted it. He didn't get it.
Giants would love to get a leadoff hitter on so they could use Bumgarner out in a productive fashion. Pretty good 3-1 pitch. Crawford thought he had ball 4.
Stays alive by fouling that changeup off. It remains at 3-2.
See Comey Mueller, our first base ball babe. She's got her sunglasses on. Veteran.
And Crawford will take the walk, so that's a gift.
Well, that's the first time today that the Giants have been able to get the leadoff hitter on. And it was a free pass. Thank you very nice.
So Bumgarner will hit. And he lays down a bunt. And it's a good bunt. And on one pitch, Crawford's down to second base. So here's Blanco. Blanco bounced out in the first and then lined out to Cody Ross in the third. And a strike, and it's 0-1.
Burning that inside corner. He stayed on that side of the plate the whole day with Gregor Blanco. He's had an excellent command of that fastball, in and out. And I think if you have a really good changeup like he has, you have to pitch inside.
Absolutely.
And he's done a nice job of that today.
This guy couldn't care less.
Not right now.
And that fastball is high. That was a double look to second by Delgado. Crawford not likely to try to steal third. Out of play, 1-2.
High fives. You make a play, you're the hit. You are the centerpiece and everybody's hero.
At Pennington, 2 outs.
Good at bat. Just an atom ball.
And that'll bring up Scudero.
Really, the pressure is on Tim Flannery. You consider the opposite field approach that Scudero has. If he gets a ball to the outfield, there's a pretty good chance it could be to right field. We talked about the arm of Gerardo Pardo in right. Cody Ross at left has a good arm. He's very accurate with it. Pollock probably has the more average arm if you compare him to the other 2 outfielders, the corner outfielders. We've already seen Flannery in this series be very aggressive. He will put the pressure on the defense to make a play.
Swing and a foul back.
He was sitting on the changeup, and he was right on that one. He guessed right, and he had a good look at it.
Be pitch number 80 for Delgado, with 2 outs here in the 5th. Scudero on the ground to Pennington. Pennington's throw is in plenty of time, and that'll end the inning. Through 5 innings here at AT&T Park, it remains 1-0 D-backs.
To town tomorrow to face the Giants, and Tuesday, July 23rd, you're going to see an old-fashioned doubleheader. Now, if you already have tickets to the night game, hang on to it. You get to come early and enjoy the early game, and there are still tickets available for both games. Just go on to sfgiants.com for tickets. Here's the deal, guys. If it's a long day of baseball, right? You get tired? Check it out. 5-year-old Nathan has what you need to do in between games. Take a nap. Dwayne?
What are you talking about? I take one of those every afternoon. Here's Prado as he takes a strike. Well, we're going to give you an opportunity to see a legend. At least we think he's a legend. Just stop by to say hello. As Prado is going to line this one past Crawford into left field, a base hit. So we were talking about this gentleman right here. And that's
which way am I supposed to use it? Oh, you're going to hold it for me. Wonderful. Nice to see you guys. Nice to be any place now, the way things have been going. If I'd have known that I was going to feel this bad this age, I'd never stop drinking and smoking.
Well, happy birthday, you old goat.
So here's Goldschmidt with Prado at first base and nobody out, and there's a pitch that's high. On deck is Hill. Prado really doesn't run a whole lot. He's had 1 steal. He's been thrown out 4 times. Goldschmidt takes a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Bumgarner looking for that ground ball that gets a pair. With all the stuff that he throws, he keeps that thing down at the knees, middle in. He will get some ground balls. If we so used to seeing Crawford and Sandoval on the left side of the infield get lots of work when he's out there.
Goldsmith taking a long look at Matt Williams. Bumgarner in dire need of a double play ball here with nobody out and one aboard. Trying to hang on to this one-run deficit, and that's in tight, and it's 3-1.
Now this becomes a big pitch. Giants have backed up their defense, especially in center field.
Three and two. We'll see now if Kirk Gibson sends Prado. And they got him picked off, and Belt's got to get rid of it. And they get him.
Now it helps when you have a very good arm like Belt does, but it got a little nervous there because he couldn't get it out of the glove quickly. A beautiful move from Bumgarner, and that's his best defense. And Prado hung out. He just could not wait to make sure that Bumgarner went home. That changes everything.
That's about the only thing you have to do is wait. And the walk to Goldschmidt.
Well, you don't feel so bad about that walk now because of the pickoff. But you can't go to sleep on Goldschmidt. He's got 9 stolen bags on the year. And a lot of those stolen bases have just been with pitchers that just don't think because of his size that he's going to go.
So here's Hill.
Looked like he had a lean too.
Very high and wide. 1 ball and no strikes.
Buster Posey is going to come out and say, hey, listen, don't worry about the runner. If he goes, I'll throw him out. You just worry about the guy in the box. Just make sure he stopped. Come to me. When a guy has a weakness, and you know, Bumgarner doesn't have many, but one of the things he doesn't do a great job of, and that's hold runners on. Sometimes you get so eaten up with that, your concentration steers away from the guy in the batter's box. And I think that whole meeting from Posey just to say, listen, concentrate on Aaron Hill. I'll worry about Goldschmidt.
That'll be a souvenir down the right field line. So we are in the 6th inning.
It has been a very well pitched ball game, and all 3 of these games have been grinds. Gentlemen making fans. Fans and friends.
High and wide. 2 balls and a strike. Montero to follow.
Some of our nation's finest here.
And this time he gets the corner 2-2.
Yeah, that corner hasn't been there that often for him today. He's had a lot of those out there that have not been called a strike. certainly not a location you can count on it. If he goes back in there, you wouldn't be surprised if it was called a ball. But it was an example of Scott Berry. You don't have to put it between the catcher's knee to get a strike. That was not. He set that target inside. It went away. Hey, Dervecki's here.
Atta babe. 2-2. Got him.
Curveball, and he hadn't thrown many today. And when he has, they've been effective. And they've been effective because they're a speed off the slider. It's a bigger break, and he puts it right below the strike zone. And Aaron Hill, a victim. Strikeout number 5. And all 5 strikeouts have been swing and miss strikeouts. Look at how far out front Aaron Hill was. Nice pitch.
Here's Montero. And Montero gets hit right on the shoulder.
Bumgarner not happy about that. He loses his left-hander. Now he has to face Ross with a runner in scoring position. And he basically puts the runner in scoring position for free with this. Trying to go inside. Good tip for kids. I mean, that's how you turn in on a pitch that's going to hit you to protect yourself.
Ross is singled and he's walked. And here he takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Goldschmidt at second. Montero at first. Pitch number 86 coming up for Bumgarner. 0-2.
That was a go to right swing from Cody Ross, and he did not look comfortable with it. Tried to climb the ladder, go right back up again. Fish weren't biting. But that does set up a ball down in the dirt of his back foot. And with that big sweeping break on his slider, he gets a lot of strikeouts down there.
Sandoval will go to the bag. And Bumgarner pitches out of it here in the 6th. Posey, Sandoval, Pence, Bell, Tanaka, and Crawford. They're all coming up.
The electrifying play of the week, and we go back 8 days ago, July 13th. 2013, and it was Tim Lincecum who comes up with an electrifying no-hitter, 148 pitches, the 15th no-hitter in Giants history, the 7th no-hitter in San Francisco Giants history, and let the celebration begin. And that is our solar company electrifying play of the week, a day we will never forget.
Here's Buster Posey, who caught that no-hitter. And he's going to take a pitch just high. Posey has popped out and he's bounced out.
There's that curveball. We've seen about 3 of them today. It's not anything I think anybody's even thinking about. I'm thinking about a changeup.
Three and 0.
We saw him groove a fastball the last 3-0. Not a bad time to let Buster Posey hunt.
And that's a 4-pitch walk.
Second inning in a row that Delgado has walked a leadoff hitter. And this one sets up the heart of the lineup. And with that, you're going to get some activity now in the Diamondbacks bullpen.
Yeah, that was a red alert. Sandoval hit one way out into Triple's alley that was tracked down by Parra, who made a nice catch.
See, Yuri De La Rosa, one of 2 lefties in that Diamondbacks bullpen, heading down. Start getting heated up.
So Sandoval at the plate, Posey at first. And wrapped into the gap. Nobody's going to catch this one. And Buster Posey's on the move. They're going to wave in Buster Posey. There's a shot at home. It's a good throw. They got him. And just about as good a relay as you're ever going to see.
Well, they set the defense to the right center field gap, and this goes away from it. And it goes right deep in the corner. I think Flannery had in his mind that he was going to challenge this defense. And boy, they have really been coming up with incredible relays. This one from Pennington, a strike to Montero, who catches the ball and dives into Posey. And you'll find out right now if he was safe or if he was out. And they got him. Wow, by about 2 inches. That is spectacular defensive baseball.
So here's Pence. Pence takes inside, 1 ball and no strikes.
And really a gamble from Flannery with nobody out. He put the pressure on the defense and they came up big.
It's 2 balls and no strikes.
If you're criticizing Flannery for the play, I mean, look at how perfect this had to be. And as perfect as it was, they get him by 3 inches. And that's not anything you can fault a third base coach for.
Delgado showing some unhappiness. It's 3-0 to Pence. Pence on the ground. And he's thrown out.
So Bruce Bochy turns him loose with a 3-0 count. And he gets that fastball, and Delgado gets the ground ball. You want to watch a perfect relay, and Pollock gets a very good relay throw right to Pennington, who on one step turns and rockets an absolute pearl to Montero, who dives into Posey, and he's out by literally 3 inches. That is the big leagues.
So Delgado's going to depart when it's time for a change. Think Speedy, oil change and tune-up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. We'll be back. And you can do that again. Example, Red Sox, Dodgers. And this season you can get more with your tickets thanks to the StubHub Fan Rewards. So get the StubHub and grab your seats today.
New pitcher for the Diamondbacks is Yuri De La Rosa. Not a big guy, 5'9", 167-pounder rookie. A fastball that's high 80s.
Pennington backpedaling, and that'll end the inning on one pitch. Seventh inning coming up. It's 1-0 D-backs. Bumgarner to face Parra. It's a 1-0 lead for the Diamondbacks. It'll be Parra, Pennington, and then the pitcher spot. And the first pitch is wide. Bumgarner Pitch wise now, the next pitch will be number 90. Parra fouls this one into the club level. He's popped out and he's bounced out.
Making a play, doesn't need a glove. Commando.
The 1-1 to Parra. He pops this one. A long run for Tanaka, and Tanaka's not going to get there. It's 1-2. Cubs and Rockies are tied 2-2. That game in the 6th inning. I believe on the schedule for the Rockies, their next opponent is going to be the Cubs.
Diamondbacks.
Or make that the Diamondbacks take on the Cubs. There's a pitch high. The Cubs will travel to Arizona tomorrow for 4 games, 4 night games. The 2-2. 3-2.
Bob Brenly, who is now an announcer with the Diamondbacks, used to say when he was a manager of the Diamondbacks that when the Cubs would come in to play Arizona, you didn't know who was the home team. So many Cub fans in the Valley of the Sun and Phoenix.
And the walk. So Bumgarner has had a 1-2-3 inning in the 3rd. He had one in the 5th thanks to a double play on a pop-up, but that's it. This is the 4th inning in a row that the Diamondbacks have gotten their leadoff hitter on. Pennington takes down low. Pennington is bounced out and he's singled. So Parra with the leadoff walk. And there's a strike. Jason Kubel is on deck.
And the only right-handed hitter that Kurt Gibson has on the bench is Will Nieves, catcher. Everybody else left-handed.
Possible double play ball. 6-4-3. Kubel now will not hit. I think it's going to be Adam Eaton. Your options are you put a guy up there with 2 outs that can bang one out of the park, or put a guy up there that can get on and then steal a bag.
Well, that is Adam Eaton's game. He's an on-base guy, and he can definitely steal you a base. However, we pointed out he hadn't had a stolen base yet this year, so there's something in his machine that is preventing the stolen base. Because if you look at his minor league stats, it's a huge part of his getup. But he does have good speed, and he's feisty up there. Not a big guy, 5'9", maybe.
Bell getting loose. 0-2. Eaton yesterday started, led off, played center field and went 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. Got a couple of hits on Friday night. One of them a bunt single. Got him. Bumgarner finishes strong here in the 7th. It'll be Tanaka, Crawford, and then we'll see. And the new pitcher is Heath Bell. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. The Oil Change Tune-Up and Smog experts.
Take a look at the numbers for big old Heath Bell. 41st time that he's come in. 2-1 with a 4.46 ERA. Has been the closer when J.J. Putz was on the DL. He emerged as the closer, has 15 saves on the year. The big guy, 6'3", 265. Going to get a fastball that's mid-90s, big curveball straight over the top of that high 3/4 release. An occasional changeup, not many, maybe do a lefty now and then.
All right, let's check in one more time with Amy G.
All right, gentlemen, we have a new webisode for Giants fans. It's an Amy G's Giants exclusive with none other than Tim Lincecum. He talked about his no-no earlier in the game, and that's what we talk about in the interview. We also talk about how anxious he is to get back out on the mound. He gets to start tomorrow. It's been a long break for him. He's ready to go. CSNBarrier.com, Amy G's Giants exclusive with Tim Lincecum. Dwayne?
I'll bet it's a good one.
Well, we are looking forward to that start. I think the whole world looks to the start after a no-hitter. There's been one guy in baseball history that has thrown 2 no-hitters in a row. Tim Lincecum going to try and join Johnny Vandermeer, who did it as a member of the Cincinnati Reds.
Tanaka. Well, then it would only be fitting.
I agree. Do it against the Reds.
Tanaka is singled and struck out. And a strike to Kensuke Tanaka with Crawford on deck. And a quick 0-2 to Tanaka. That's a pop-up that's going to be into the seats down the left field line, about 20 rows back. Bell is, in his career, he's pitched just about everywhere. The 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Today it's the 7th.
Strike thrower, good stuff. That last pitch at 94, running the inside corner. That did not feel good. And yes, he throws the scud. Jeremy Affeld's donation to the baseball vernacular came up with a scud that describes a breaking ball that bounces about 8 feet in front of home plate that catchers absolutely do not like. Like that.
Anywhere from 8 to what, 2 feet?
I tell you, we've really seen some outstanding ball blocking in this series. Mr. Posey does not like scuds. I can't say that Miguel Montero, the catcher for the D-backs, is a big fan of him either, but he has definitely got his body in front of a bunch of them in this series.
Oh, 2 to 3-2. Giants in the 5th inning got a leadoff walk to Crawford. In the 6th, a leadoff walk to Posey. They're going to try to do it again here in the 7th. Foul back.
Guy almost had it. It's a great logo. I always love that logo. The city.
Oh, it is a great one. I agree. Three and 2. Tap slowly. Hill's got to get rid of it, and they just got him.
Well, I'm talking 1/8 of a step, maybe. He was out, but not by a bunch.
So here's Crawford. Crawford walked in the 5th. He's 0 for 1. And it's in tight. Is Bell coming right in on the hands. On deck is Tony Abreu. There's a strike.
Yeah, that's a nice two-seam fastball. Good location. You saw Crawford. I mean, he backed off that thing, think it was inside, had to get out of the way, and all of a sudden the late movement takes it right into the strike zone.
Bell going off the side of the mound onto the grass. Now walks back up the hill. Two and 1. And they're going to call that pitch high. 3 and 1.
Hey, there you go. Build your own Bloody Mary.
Yeah, a little late for that. Maybe around 11. You know when you drink Bloody Marys in the morning?
Well, for most people.
3 and 2.
Tony Abreu on deck. Madison Bumgarner's day is over.
Crawford pops this one out to Hill. 2 down. And here's Abreu.
All right, there you go. That's what you're going to do when you're going to build your own Bloody Mary.
You got the
olives, onion, horseradish, Worcestershire sauce, and peppers, and pepperoncinis, and celery, horseradish, more horseradish. Yeah. That looks like a good time. That's a good idea.
It does look like a good time. Here's Abreu facing Bell.
I got it. Didn't even hurt.
0-1 to Abreu. And that pitch is wide. 1 ball and 1 strike. Abreu into center field, but looks like Pollock's got a beat on it, and that'll end the inning. So we've played 7. Nothing has changed since the first. It's 1-0 D-backs. Gatto and Bumgarner, they hooked up. They both pitched great. Giants 3 runners thrown out at home plate in this series. And the Giants have won 7 of the last 8, including 4 straight. So they got some work to do. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Sandy Rosario, the new pitcher for the Giants. You can see what he's done in 21 games. He's been good. 22-0 with a 1.99 ERA, 21 strikeouts, and 22 2/3 innings. And a big reason as to why his success has been good is because of that slider you just saw. He has a slider, fastball that goes low to mid-90s, and a good changeup.
Just outside to even the count at a ball and a strike. He gets the corner, 1-2.
Andy Kuno, Giants photographer. Happy birthday, Andy. Andy's
dad used to take our team picture when we were players for the Giants.
Yes, he did.
Two and two to Pollock. 3-2 to Pollock. The last 2 innings, the Giants have walked the Diamondbacks leadoff hitter. Actually, that's not true. Prado got a base hit in the 6th inning. Parra walked in the 7th. Hit right back to Rosario. 1 out.
Rosario had a ball hit off his hand last night and had some numbness in his middle finger, which is never a good thing. Got to the ballpark today and immediately told Dave Righetti and Mark Gardner, I'm good. So here he is. Here was the play we're talking about. Comebacker, he just got a piece of it. And when it hit his finger, hit him the ring finger, the middle finger, he had numbness on that middle finger.
Prado takes the pitch down low.
But if you give him enough time, the numbness usually goes away.
And the 1-0 to Prado. Down low, 2 balls and no strikes. Giants have 6 more outs left in this game. They'll have the top of the lineup up in the 8th inning. Prado taking all the way, takes a strike. See a lot more hitters do that now. Instead of just letting it fly 2-0, a lot of just 2-0 automatic takes.
I know, especially guys at top of the lineup. I can understand that, but it drives me crazy when you have a guy that's got home run power that does it.
Pop backing out of play. I think it really is the sign of the times now about taking walks and, you know, helping your on base percentage and all of those things. But
and getting pitches out of your starting pitcher.
I think there are a lot of people out there that might like to see you wrapping over the wall or hit one into the gap.
I mean, count leverage is a gift. A lot different hitting 2-0 than 1-1. Good pitch. Sorry, I thought he had him. Did not miss by much. Prado putting on a pretty good eyeball there. I mean, you got to have guts to take that pitch at a 2-strike count.
And another one off of Rosario. And Prado's going to be aboard. He's going to start to think he's got a target on him. 3 hits now for Prado.
Yeah, he just gets a glove on it. You're really mad at yourself because you get any kind of a piece of your glove on it. You think, I should make that play. I don't know if the ball gets over his head without it being touched, if it gets caught by either Scudero or Crawford. But it's a big league knock.
Yeah, we're going to see some more bullpen work from somebody as Goldschmidt stands in. Goldschmidt has got a sacrifice fly. He doubled. And he walked. Javi Lopez jogging down. Two balls and no strikes. So now Goldschmidt can lay in the weeds. The RBI that he picked up in the first is 78th, and that leads the National League.
Rosario staying with that slider. 3 pitches, 3 sliders, and that last one was about as perfect a location as you can throw. Trying to shave that strike zone, not give into a good location to hit. Not with Goldschmidt.
And a quick toss to first. Prado, as we mentioned a number of times since he's been on base now 3 times, is really not a guy that's going to steal a bag. Now, he may go thinking that Goldschmidt's going to put the ball in play. Hill is on deck.
The pace of this game has slowed down. Rosario, a very deliberate worker, especially with been on base.
So Dave Righetti is going to come out.
Yeah, he's going to give Javier Lopez a chance to get heated up. Lopez is thinking about Miguel Montero, who will be on deck. And if you're a pitching coach, you come out, ask him how he feels, what's working, give him a little 3-pitch strategy. Throw a fastball off the plate away, throw a fastball in on his hands, finish him off with sliders, whatever your strategy may be. Kill your time and head back.
Stay tuned immediately after Giants baseball for Esurance Giants post-game live. Highlights, reaction, analysis, all coming up right after the game. So here's Hill. Hill is 0 for 3. Blanco took a hit away from Hill with a diving catch on a sinking line drive in the 4th. On the ground towards the hole. Crawford in and out of his glove. It'll be a base hit. And now the bases are loaded. So Bruce Bochy's coming out. It's going to be Lopez coming in to face Miguel Montero. Giants in a jam, and we'll be back.
Is brought to you by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
A 1-0 lead for the Diamondbacks new pitcher, when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Javier Lopez in for the 42nd time this year. He has been fantastic. Inheriting a big mess. 1 out, bases loaded jam, facing Miguel Montero, who has plenty of pop. 25 strikeouts and 23 and a third. See what lefties are hitting against him. 186. He can give you 4 different arm slots going all the way down submarine to a normal 3/4. Really a versatile pitcher in that regard, is that he does not have to give you, I mean, he could probably put 12 different types of movement on a pitch. Fastball, curveball, slider, 4 different slots, that's 12 pitches.
And a strike to Montero. Coming into this series, Montero 3 for 11 against Javier Lopez.
Take away the left center field gap. Thinking with all the movement that's going to be sliding across the plate away from Montero, if he hits it in the air, it's going to be to left center. Cody Ross waiting on deck.
One and one to Montero. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Montero's right on top of the plate looking for something away. Not even thinking about inside.
2 infield hits and a walk. Nope, 3 and 1.
And now he's got to get after it. He's got to get in that strike zone. 3 times he's gone off the plate, and 3 times Montero has spit on it. And that one was close. 2 strike count. He's swinging at that one.
Popped them up. It's going to be in shallow center field. It's going to be Blanco. And Blanco will make the catch. As good as a strikeout.
So once again, Lopez does his job.
And once again, Bruce Bochy coming out. Cody Ross is going to be the hitter. We'll have a new pitcher when we come back. We'll let you know how it all turns out. It's 1-0 D-backs. Murph and Mac tomorrow morning on KNBR 680. See a 1-0 lead with the bases loaded here in the 8th inning. And there you see John Machi.
Machi, the new pitcher, 27th game that he has come into, just called back up with the injury to Jeremy Affeldt. Machi has joined the club today. And right away, he's thrown into the fire here with the bases loaded. A fastball that'll go low to mid-90s. It's got a slider and a split that you're going to see a lot of.
Cody Ross singled in the 2nd, walked in the 4th, and bounced out to Sandoval in the 6th. And the first pitch is high with Machi or anybody coming out of the bullpen. A first pitch strike always settles everybody down.
Yeah, it does. And that's what the last thing they tell you. And they tell you every time you leave the bullpen, make something happen, meaning get in that strike zone and challenge. He has to challenge now.
My goodness. He got very quiet right down there by the on-deck circles. That shot right by Parra.
And right by that little girl, and she's okay. Wow.
Little looper's going to fall. Goldschmidt's coming in, and the throw's late, so Goldschmidt's going to score, and it's 3-0. Now that's the hit that the Diamondbacks have not been able to get in this series.
Well, right off the end of the bat. Really not a hanger by any way, shape, or form. A split finger fastball on the outside corner, perhaps even off the plate. But Cody Ross going that way and strong enough to get over the head of Marco Scudero. So they have finally created some separation. And they've been threatening.
So here's Parra. Parra fouls it off his foot. A 1-out infield hit. That's what got things started. A ball off the glove of Rosario. Hit the belt. And that'll end the inning. 2 runs for the D-backs. Top of the order coming up for the Giants. They got some work to do.
First of 4. You'll see a single game tomorrow, double dip on Tuesday, then a single night game on Wednesday, day off, and then the Cubs come in to finish out this homestand. And tomorrow you'll see the Reds on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area, pregame live at 6:30. Tim Lincecum going to be on the hill taking on those Reds after his no-hitter. There's a rematch of last fall's National League Division Series. So check us out. Game 1 of 4.
When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
David Hernandez, you saw the numbers briefly from his year. 4 and 5 with a 4.46 ERA. But look at the strikeouts, 42 and 42 and a third. And he's always had strikeout stuff. Fastball, mid to high 90s, curveball, changeup. Good curveball.
Goldschmidt will beat Blanco to the bag. Blanco today 0 for 4. And here's Scudero. Scudero walked in the first. And then he's a soft line drive that was caught, and he bounced out to short. Scudero gets a pitch right at the belt, and he fouls it straight back. It's 0-2.
Always a homecoming for David Hernandez coming to the Bay Area as he comes from Sacramento. I always thought I threw harder when I came back to the city that I grew up in.
Of course.
I mean, it got there at the same velocity, but I definitely was throwing harder. You never know, your old kindergarten teacher might be there. You got to impress him. Her.
1-2 to Scudero.
You know, that is the one amazing thing about our game as a player. You hear from people that you hadn't heard of literally since the second grade. It still happens.
Two and 2 to Scudero. Scudero fights this off as he sends a souvenir down the right field line. Scudero trying to reach for Buster Posey, who's on deck. Giants need a couple of bloops and a blast. And that's out of play.
Hernandez taking advantage of that 3-0 lead, just going right at him.
Nice
good.
Play. Nice play.
And you have no choice on a 2-strike count as a catcher. Even with nobody on, you got to get out and get in front of that bad boy. Breaking ball and ask him how he caught it. I don't know. Just sort of found my glove.
And Scudero will take the walk. That's a good at bat. Well, earlier in the year, in the 8th inning, off of Hernandez, Buster Posey did this. And that tied the game. Giants went on to win that game. low to Buster Posey. He's 0 for 2. He drew a walk in the 6th. Was thrown out at home later on in that inning. Not close. Giants will take all the free passes they can get.
Boy, you're right, not close. Easy takes. Well, that second one, Charles Nagy is pitching coach of the Diamondbacks, starting to grind over in the D-backs dugout.
Hit very well to right field, but it looks like it's in the park. As Parra will put it away. And that'll bring up Pablo Sandoval. Panda fans, Sandoval hit the ball hard a couple of times. He's 1 for 3.
Some 94-mile-an-hour paint to open up the at-bat right on that outside corner at the knees. And you're right, he's had good at-bats. Hit a ball early in the game. Parra went back to the wall in deep right center. Triples alley to snag. Home run in any other ballpark. Nice opposite field double.
That's right. This ballpark will not so much giveth, but it'll taketh away. That's for sure. Punch wasn't that far inside. Sandoval had his hands out there, and he just had to get him back. I've done that before, where you don't think you have time to get everything out of the way, so you just get rid of the bat. It's out. One and two.
Well, Hernandez went right back in there.
I think Sandoval had a pretty good idea that that's where he was going to go.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he was looking there. That was 95-mile-an-hour fastball right in the hands.
They're going to say Sandoval went around, and that'll end the inning. So Hernandez gets the strikeout, and we'll move on to the ninth. 3-0 D-backs.
Giants postgame live and at 6 p.m. right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Mindy Bach and Henry Wolford will go into the Giants clubhouse for analysis and reaction from this one. You will meet the 49ers' new secret weapon. And there was an historic Open in Scotland today. We won't tell you who won it. But all that and more, AT&T Sportsnet Central. 3-0 here as we head to the top of the ninth. New pitcher for the Giants will be right-hander Jake Dunning. Dunning's first outing since the start of the second half. This is what he has done in 16 games. Good numbers.
There's a strike to Pennington, so you're not going to say who won it.
Well, I think there are some people that may have recorded it.
All right, so, well, okay. Wasn't a giraffe, it wasn't a panda, it wasn't a tiger.
No. So that's the only hint we're giving you.
One and two to Pennington. Brad Ziegler is in the bullpen getting loose.
But that is one nice thing about the British Open is that if you're a baseball player and a golf fan, you get a chance to watch the whole thing before the game starts.
Ugly finder. And that's where Amy G sits, and it wasn't intended to say ugly finder because of that, because I don't think she's down there.
Well, there was whistling going in there. I know that much. Amy is down there. Okay.
She's good. So it was at Foz.
She's good.
Foz was the ugly finder. Yeah,
Foz.
There you go. That'll be.
Fozzie.
Oh, yeah. Tries to put those shades on so we might not recognize him. Foul back and out of play.
Yeah, Fozzie's hard to miss.
Who do you think caught that, buddy? I bet Amy caught it.
Yeah, she could have. I wouldn't bet against her.
Pulled on the ground to Scudero. So Pennington is retired. Chavez is going to pinch his. So here's Chavez. Part of those really good Oakland A's teams. Longtime teammate of Barry Zito.
Well, he's done well as a pinch hitter. 4 for 7 with a big fly, 4 ribeyes. It's good to see him healthy again. Some major back problems. But really, a lot of us thought we're going to cut his career short.
Tap slowly to Scudero. And Scudero will throw out his old teammate. So here's Pollock. Pollock is 0 for 4. Giants in the home half of the ninth will be Pence, Belt, and Tanaka.
Dunning trying to keep this at a 3-run game. You always wonder about a guy who goes a long time without throwing, what he's going to be like when he comes back in. And as I mentioned, this is the first time that he's thrown in this series. So it's been over a week since he's been out there. As you see, Brad Ziegler, the right-hander, he will attempt to close this out in the 9th. But Dunning has not shown any rust.
2-2.
Pretty simple set of mechanics in his throwing motion. Very repeatable motion for a tall pitcher.
Throw a little harder today than what we've seen him throw.
Well, that last one was 93. And like a lot of guys, when we see his best velocity, it's usually in a 2-strike count. He will reach back.
So a walk to Pollock, and Prado's going to hit.
Broadcaster's jinx.
Yeah. Prado started out the 8th inning with an infield hit, or actually with 1 out. He had an infield hit off of Rosario's glove, and that was the beginning of the 2-run 8th inning. So checking on Pollock. Pollock's got 6 steals. And he takes a pitch high, 1 ball and no strikes. A lot of pitchers used last night 8, 7 relievers, and today 4 relievers for Bruce Bochy.
Well, they really needed to get something out of the starting pitcher today, and Madison Bumgarner gave him 7 beautiful innings. That took a lot of pressure off the bullpen.
One ball and 1 strike.
Goldschmidt waiting on deck.
He hits every inning.
Seems like it.
Pollock goes. Buster Posey's throw. Got him. And that'll end the inning. Pence will lead things off. time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
New pitcher now for the Diamondbacks, Brad Ziegler, who has become the closer. And it's not often you see a Sidewinder become a closer. Ziegler, a la Kent Tekulve style, is going to come at you from the side. The high 80s with a lot of sweep to his breaking ball, a lot of sink to his fastball. He's a guy that pitches to contact.
So Pence will try to get aboard. Giants need base runners, and base runners.
Yes, they do.
And they're going to have one right here.
And that got lost in the sun, believe it or not. And wouldn't it be something? To hit the glove, he didn't know where it went. See the shadow right behind him. Just kind of popped right out of the pocket. An error on Ziegler.
Here's Belt. And a strike to Belt, who's 1 for 3. Rolls it foul, another than 2. Pence at first. Belt battling Ziegler. Tapped up the middle. Not in time. Very close. And the tying run's going to come up.
Hunter Pence is not going to give you enough time. You dive as a middle infielder. More often than not, you're not going to have a chance to recover, and this is an outstanding effort from Hill. And Pence just does beat the force. And let's watch Pence go.
Yep, good call.
Good call by Ted Barrett, crew chief.
So here's Tanaka. Tanaka's job here is just keep the line moving. Well, the blown save is a very high number for the D-backs.
Tied with the Cubs.
Tanaka with a swing and a foul, and it's no balls in 1 strike. Tanaka 1 for 3, singled in the second. Possible double play ball. Now the ball gets away, and coming in to score is Pence, and they got Tanaka at second. And that cannot happen.
Well, it looked like a double play, just a lot of foot speed on the backside of it. So Tanaka beats that out. Once it gets past Goldschmidt, he heads right to second base, and Goldschmidt gets a good bounce off of the padding and throws a perfect strike. And just like that, the Giants lose the ability to have the tying run at the plate. And that hurts. There's the bounce back to Goldschmidt, but look at the strike that he gives Aaron Hill.
And they got him. So the strike to Crawford. Now the idea is for Crawford to try to get on, creating an opportunity for Jeff Francoeur. And that's a bit off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. If it's all said and done, the Diamondbacks would, that play, that an error, everything, I think they would take that any day. They got 2 outs on the play. Almost the same pitch, 2-2.
Yeah, that's frustrating right there. If you're Brandon Crawford, you cannot fault him for taking that pitch. He saw one even a little bit better. The previous pitch was called a ball, and this one here he called a strike. That's inconsistency.
Crawford taps this one to third, and he's going to have an infield hit. Well, you just never know.
Well, when you're a pitcher that's a bit funky, you expect to give up some funky base hits. So the Giants are going to get that tie and run back up there at the plate.
So Francoeur is going to step up. He's only had 1 at bat lifetime against Ziegler, and he's grounded out.
Sergio Romo very quickly heading back to the Giants dugout, or the bullpen rather.
And a strike, and it's 0-1.
It is rally cap time. Try to go front door with the breaking ball. Just a little bit inside. Oh, yeah. The tension is starting to mount.
Francoeur, Pennington, and that's the ball game. So the Diamondbacks salvage the final game of this series. And what the Giants did today is they wasted a great outing by Madison Bumgarner.
Well, they really did, and it's hard to believe that he's going to get a loss out of this. But the Giants have done this in this series like they did the last series against the Padres. They had a chance for the sweep. They couldn't finish it off in the last game. However, another series victory as they move into a big series starting tomorrow with Cincinnati. They did what they had to do this weekend.
Final score, the Diamondbacks 3 and the Giants 1. Eastern's Giants post-game live interviews in the wrap is coming up. But first, let's go to the Sportsnet Central studio for an update.